Hey guys, Dan of 14th Prime back here with the final piece of the Bruticus puzzle, Onslaught from the Combiner Wars series. Voyager class figure. Check him out in the front of the box there. Back of the box, pretty consistent with the deluxe figures. We've got the couple picks and the Bruticus schematic. Feel free to pause here and read the corner of the box. You get a cool piece of artwork here on the side of the box with Bruticus there. Okay, so let's open this guy up and check him out. So a couple things with Onslaught before we get into the figure here. So he comes with this collector's card. No comic with the Voyager figure. So a picture of him on the front and just the generations on the back. And he also comes with these two guns. They're basically identical, just the inverse of each other for right hand and left hand in terms of the molding. So if we just focus on one here, you can probably get a little bit closer look and understanding of what that looks like. And here you see what the inside of that looks like. So here's Onslaught out of the box, and we'll zoom in here and get a look at the details. But one thing I'm going to point out just straight out of the box is balance with this guy is a problem. But the way his knees have this double joint in them and don't tab in, like if he's not leaning forward, he just wants to fall backwards. This should tab into the thigh, and that's not happening. They don't have that built there. So really, and if I just leave him go on his own, he's just going to fall, obviously. So back heavy and then non-tabbing knees, it's weird. This is the issue. He has a knee joint there, and then a kind of double knee joint or transforming piece down here inside the shin. It's creating stability issues, like significant stability issues. Okay, so here's our guy a little closer up. Let's go ahead and do kind of a pan up and down just so you can take a closer look here. So I'll start at the feet there. You can see he's got this pretty traditional blue color. So I think I'm pretty happy with that. I think it works pretty well. It's got the purple accents, some simple molding details. It's kind of nice and clean. Nothing too busy there in the leg section. You come up through the arms, you can start to see a little bit more going on. You got a lot of kibble kind of off the side of the arm there. Some molding on the forearms there. I'll change focus to get a closer look at that, but let me just kind of finish up here. Pretty traditional Decepticon sign. His chest plate, which they played some homage to in terms of what that used to look like for G1. They've got some of that green accent color, so that's pretty traditional too. So I gotta say, from the front view, pretty happy with how they're portraying him. Here's just a quick focus shift on those forearms. I have the arms a little bit forward just to help with that balance issue, so it's creating a different focus angle. But you can see some of that molding in there that I'm talking about, and also some of that kibble that's kind of off the forearms and starts to come around the front of the hand, so that doesn't look great. Here you've got the back of the figure. You can see the wheels there. Super hollow in the back of the thigh, which I assume is just going to be necessary for transformation and hiding away the thigh pieces through an accordion effect. You come up, you get the backpack kibble in a pretty big way, which has been a theme for all of these figures, so it can't really be uniquely critical. But you can see what's basically going to be the Bruticus head and probably some alt mode parts there where the upside down Decepticon logo is. So, not a lot on the back, right? It's like you don't want to see the back a lot because it's just hollow and kibble. And if we just give you the right side there, you can see how the foot and wheels kind of work. Some detailing there with the purple striping. Thighs, there's some of that side of the hand, some of what that kibble looks like from the side, kind of on the wrist and forearms. And I'm just going to give you his left side quickly. It's nothing special, it's consistent. I will just say, every time I touch the guy, he falls over. I should have a counter up on the screen for how many times this guy falls because of that knee issue when I try to reposition him. It is a problem. So in terms of articulation, I'm holding him because he's just got this, he just wants to fall. But he's got the foot, the toe, which will kind of, it's probably more for transformation, but you can cheat and get some use of that out of robot mode in terms of pointing the toe. It's really only up. The knee, which is the problem, can move like that. It can move back. There's a knee joint, right? That's the knee joint moving. And then there's the piece inside the shin, which gives you more. Again, that's probably more for transformation. That's where these pieces need to peg together there in the front, and they didn't do it. The thigh is on a ratchet, so you can ratchet it forward and backward just fine. You can also ratchet it out to the side. He's got a thigh swivel there between these two pieces. There's nothing at the waist, so there's nothing there. The arms are interesting. I mean, he's got the shoulder can come up here like that, so that can come up, but you can also just do it here, which is probably the more natural look you'd do for him. Obviously this will spin around kind of all the way, limited only by some kibble in the back. So you get the arm rotation. The elbow is double joint, so you kind of got it up there and then there as well. So that's pretty nice in terms of double joint elbow and bicep swivel relation there. And the head's the other challenging area. You get a little bit of down, which is really just a function of, I think, hiding the head in transformation. Nothing back to make it go up or down. And even side to side is a little tough, just because his head kind of sits in this crevice area, this crater kind of thing. So it is a little more difficult, but you can get head spin there. Okay, so to transform into alt mode, and here you can see I've geared him up a little bit. I went ahead and put the guns on the back, so he's got the pipe sticking up now, which is cool. I like that look. Reminds me of my G1 toy. On the back of the foot, he's got like a heel extension, which is great and good design for a back heavy figure, but it's not the issue. The issue is the knee still, so it doesn't matter. It's the fact that these knees don't have a tab. You know, now that I put these guns on, it's just worse. He has basically no chance to stand up right now. So I'm going to hold him through this transformation video. So first step, we want to hide away the head. So chest panel comes down, head, like I mentioned, has some downward movement because of transformation. And there you go. That's how we use that. Hide away the head, put up the chest. Next we're going to work on the arms. These flaps come out just straight up, straight to the side, like so. And then we're just going to raise the arms right up into it, like that. Then rotate the whole arm, like so, so the wheels come to the bottom. And then just bring this together, which is the front section. And really, even though it looks like there's going to be some peg action, the only peg effect is really on the very tip of the front, up here. Next, we want to fold away these heel spurs. Then we want to accordion in the legs, which should be easy. I mean, he practically wants to do it for us. And here's something that irks me. He has got some really slick, groove here. So groove here, kind of peg here. So very precise kind of, put his leg here, sliding effect. It's just like, really, you're going to do that, but you're not going to peg in the knee so he can stand up? Just head scratching design choices sometimes. Together, then you just want to use that thigh rotation to put the wheels on the outside and then peg them together. And this does have a nice peg effect there on the inside and here on the back. Now here the directions actually call for putting these toes down. You can make a call here. I don't think it looks that bad. Looks probably maybe even better like that. I like it, but if you flip them down, that's what the directions call for. But then you just get the back of the feet, the back of the toe with all this hollowness, which is ugly. So I'll do according to the directions here and you can decide for yourself. And then really the last thing they want you to do is just put these gray plastic pieces down. What would be Bruticus' chest. I will just point out before you do that, if you want to get some kind of turret articulation, they need to be up. So that's kind of cool in terms of shooting in different angles. but transformation calls for them being down. So they're on hinges and they just fold down. So that is Onslaught. Let's take a closer look at this alt mode. So here's a side view of the alt mode. I gotta say, just right off the bat, I don't love the alt mode. There's some big hollow parts to it that just don't work for me. And I appreciate he's just a remold, repaint, whatever of Hotspot. So they're working with what they have to work with, I guess. But really has some limitations. And here's an obvious one from the side. You just have a giant hole kind of looking through there underneath the Bruticus head. If I had the shockwave gun, he kind of can mount up here on the top. I don't have that. I've got the guns on here kind of upside down, which gives a little bit of a smokestack effect, which is kind of nice. So here you have the front view. Again, like these would be kind of the people sections. And there's just a terrible amount of hollowness through here, which you'll see more when I show you the top side. Here's this right side. Again, very consistent with the other side I just showed you. And then finally you have his back here, which is just a massive hole there, hollowness on the back, which doesn't look very good. In terms of the top of the figure, if I just pick it up and show you, again, there's that hollowness through the middle that I don't like. It's kind of like you'd have these two kind of cockpit systems or something, and then they're no way connected on the front, which I think is weird, and also just creates an issue with the front end really kind of staying together. So I don't love that. Say the artillery section through the guns and everything is okay. That sort of works. A lot of kind of head kibble piece here, which doesn't really serve any other purpose other than storing Bruticus's head. Appreciate they're trying to limitate kind of parts transformation, so they're trying to incorporate as much as they can. But I don't know. I mean, what is that? What do you do with that? It just looks weird. Bottom side, not that it's important really when it's a vehicle, it's on the ground, so it doesn't show, but you can see how everything just hides away. Again, that gap up by the arms just glaring. Okay guys, so let's go ahead and transform this guy into combining mode, getting him ready to form into Bruticus. So we start out from robot mode, and again we just kind of hide away the Onslaught head. Pretty simple there. Come around to the back of the figure, and they want you to just pivot the whole backpack area. Just give it a 180 and go ahead and bring up kind of the gun turrets and back, and voila, there's Bruticus' head. Go ahead and push this all the way down and around in the back, and then just rotate up the guns so you still get the kind of upward gun, smokestack, whatever effect coming outside kind of along the head. Next, you just want to slide down this piece. This is really his crotch piece. That comes down, opens up the chest and the Decepticon logo. Next, we need to do some work on the arms, so I suggest just kind of getting the chest pieces out of the way and then rotating the arms back and then on top of each other. So this is where that double joint comes into play, and there are some pegs. Peg here. Same thing on this side, you got a hole here, peg here. So bring those together. Next we got these shoulder pieces again, which kind of just pop out, and then they can fold back and just provide a little bit extra coverage to this back kibble section. And you guys see things like this, and it's like, great, it's nice, but why won't his dang knees stay in place? Like, first things first, guys. If you haven't already, you want to go ahead and get his heel spurs out of the way. Mine are already folded up, but those kind of come up. Then we want to accordion in the leg again. So there's the slot. So use that feature to lock in the legs. And then again, give them a spin
to get things facing the right direction. Just fold up these little toe pieces here on the side. Then you want to bring his arms all the way back down. I left the chest piece forward to help accommodate that, and then just push it back into place. Alright guys, so that's it. Again, I appreciate the non-parts forming way they designed the figure. So built in, you've got the chest piece, the crotch piece, the head, and guns simply plug around wherever you need them, so that's great. And this is pretty nice. The head sculpt looks pretty good too. Here's just a close-up of that head sculpt so you can take a look. It's kind of got a black gunmetal helmet, silver faceplate, red eyes. So that's Onslaught, guys, and a few final thoughts here. I mean, for all the problems with this guy just being able to stand straight up, he's got some posability. I mean, look, I got the leg kicked way back. He's in a pretty deep crouch here. So when you can use some of that balance to your advantage and get him leaning forward or a leg back, he's got some posability, which is nice. Unfortunately, he can't just stand up straight, which is severely irritating. Other thing is, he doesn't have an extra gun. As I'm sitting here trying to gear him up, the two guns that go in the back are kind of what you need to get that smokestack effect. Then he's missing another handgun to be holding when those are on his back. You'd always want those on his back, I think. At least I would. But then he's missing an extra gun. In terms of alt mode, I didn't love it. I think it's the worst of the three things that he does. Robot mode here is pretty good, save for the knees. Bruticus mode is probably the best of the three in terms of setting them up to combine. And alt mode is clearly the sacrifice they had to make just to get the figure together. Check out my next video where I'm going to put all these guys together and we'll just focus in on the combined Bruticus.